Terrific. I'm not used to a mic. For those who know me, I'm a sociology professor here at campus, and I teach race and inequality.
We're back on. I was asked to continue broadcasting the speeches.
And let me just first say, we're
Funeral for Public Education,
we're not used to
which is a
speeches at rallies.
preparation for the march and protest
Probably won't be very good.
from San Francisco to Sacramento
But I've been giving a lot
at
of
the
thought about
California
public
Capitol
education. I
to
was
support
educated
funding
at
public
Graduate
education
Center in New
through
York
raising
City,
taxes.
Public University. That's where I got my doctoral degree. And I've taught in both public and private institutions. And one of the things that is really apparent is that California is living off of a dream of yesteryear. I came from Connecticut. Connecticut has one of the best public education systems in the country. And that means they redistribute wealth in a way that gives good education to poor kids in the state. And you see kids in that state making it into the top universities. This state seems to me one of the most segregated public institutions I've ever seen, particularly at the higher levels. I have few minority students in my classes. In fact, that's one of the reasons I thought to bring my class. It's a class on race and ethnic inequality, and we have a lot of representation, and so much of the representation we see out here today is in fact from that class. I don't think we can talk about growing inequality without talking about race and ethnic inequality in this state, particularly in terms of the Mexican American, Native American, and African American populations. I came to Davis in 2001. Tuition has more than doubled since I've been here. I went to a private university where I paid less in my private tuition than you pay in your, quote, fees. This seems to me at best subsidized education, not public education. I gave a teach-in, which I won't be doing today, but I did give one in the first days of the Occupy movement. And I am a very strong supporter of the students who've taken their time this winter to rough it and draw public attention to this very important issue, which is really at the heart of so much of the angst in our nation today, which of course is growing inequality. And we all know it, and we kind of watch it happen. But I guess the things I wanted to emphasize in our teaching was the fact that we must pull together as a community. If we look at the history of civil protests in the United States, if we look at the history of disenfranchised groups, every single one of them who has had any success has had that success through organizing, through protests, through civil disobedience, through voting, through collective organizing. There's a long tradition of that in the African American community that stems from Frederick Douglass right through A. Philip Randolph, right through the Martin Luther Kings and Malcolm X's, and we see their posters and we buy them over in front of the bookstore. But we have to start doing more than just honoring these people as past icons. We have to take some of the things they taught us and put them into practice. And that really means that the dissension that I've been hearing about, I can't speak about it directly, but I know there are a lot of people who feel disenfranchised from some of these Occupy movements. We need to pull together. We need to send a signal to the far right in this country about a vision for a democratic society. If we don't do it, I'm not sure where that hope will come from. So I want to encourage us, with my last words here, to really take seriously the transformation of wealth that we've watched take place since literally the 1970s. This is not new. What we're talking about is not new, but the extremes of poverty maybe that is something new in terms of how it challenges our American dream. So let me say I'm glad to see that we had an American flag in the beginning of our burying public education. I'm tired of seeing the right in America claiming the rally of patriotism. We are patriots here. We have the right to protest for equality, for democracy, and for a better world. Thank you.
Just a really quick announcement. One of the initiatives that people are gathering signatures for, and we have this sign up, the signature cards right here, if you want to sign, is called the Millionaire's Tax, and it's a 3% tax on income beyond $1 million. And it's a, yes, pass those out, please. And 5% for our incomes beyond $2 million. And really that's fair. In America, we've had what's called a progressive tax system with a gentle geometric curve, so the people who can pay more do pay more. And there are good reasons for that. It's because it's harder for people at the lower end to take the same percentage chunk out of their income. And I think that a lot of people who are blindly supporting lower taxes, thinking that will generate more business, are not really looking at the history of it. The history of it is the reason why businesses and people came to California throughout the 20th century is because people did pay their fair share in taxes, and we were building a good system. The higher education system in California became, and hopefully still is, the world's premier public education system. We need to keep it. Let's not throw it away. Okay, so if you're interested in that, please sign these signature cards to get that initiative on the ballot. Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. My name is Nick Perrone. I'm representative for UAW 2865 here. This is the TAs union for all the TAs, readers, and graduate student instructors here. So I have a couple just quick words here about what's going on. Education is certainly in a perilous state right now, and one thing's for sure, we cannot count on our current administrators and legislators to solve the problem that they've created and inflamed. If we are the first generation of students, professors, and workers to experience such extreme austerity measures, and we are, then it's up to us to be the ones who reclaim a system that has been polluted with the stench of privatization. The administrators and legislators who unrepentantly peddle the toxic mantra of austerity and privatization must be opposed by those of us who remember the system before its failure. We must refuse to let greed and unceasing search for profit destroy a public good that has educated generations of Californians before us. This task falls on us alone. The Catahis and Bergenaus across the state and country were brought into public institutions because of their uncanny abilities to raise capital, not their willingness to ensure that these institutions remain a public trust. So we are confronted with an impotent legislature, a corrupt administration, and an apparently apathetic and disconnected faculty, and it's on us to make a direct impact. We have to start by changing the discourse. The idea that everyone is tightening their belts in this crisis so students and poor people must shoulder their fair share is absolute and utter horseshit. Poor people shoulder most of the burden when rich people and capitalists are left to their own devices. It's time for rich people to truly suffer and clean up their own fucking mess. Everyone is not tightening their belts. In 2009, at the height of the economic crisis, the top 0.2%, not the top 1%, the top 0.2% in the state of California collectively made $104 billion. And because most of that was capital gains, they paid less in taxes as a percentage than I did this morning when I deposited my $685 check from working here at the UC. Convince me that there's justice in that system. And don't ever fucking tell me that there's not enough money to support education and social services for poor people in this state. So educate yourselves about the true state of affairs. Learn the figures yourself and tell people they're wrong when they go around saying that hard times fall on the just and unjust alike, because they do not. We must also take direct action to oppose the structures that ensure oppression. When people blockade a bank on campus, it's not simply a hollow gesture, but recognition that U.S. Bank is one of the worst perpetrators of economic injustice and that we should all be fighting against this. Many of us are going to the Capitol on Monday to voice our dissatisfaction with the way our state government works to perpetuate injustice in order to appease capital. And there will certainly be some powerful direct actions that we can all take part in on that day. So I encourage everybody here to come on Monday to the Capitol. There's going to be groups leaving from Davis to bring students, teachers, parents, workers, professors, and just concerned citizens to Sacramento. There are some sign-up sheets going around. We're organizing some carpools. Our union organized 13 buses. We're busing in 1,100 people from across the state. There are going to be a lot of people, thousands and thousands of people. Dozens of unions are participating in other social justice groups. So if you want to see some interesting things happen on March 5th, come to Sacramento, because it will be something that the state capitol hasn't seen in a very long time. And I have some final words. We must support each other in these movements. There are so many different groups out there working towards similar goals. And instead of nitpicking each other to death, we have to search for common ground. Instead of pinpointing ideological flaws, we have to search for areas that we can work together on. The purity of purpose cannot supersede the overall goal. We have to support the unions of working people who have suffered unprecedented attacks in the past few years. We have to support the working poor and those at the bottom of the economic totem pole who, because their voices grow softer as they are worked ever harder by the wealthy, who are trying to make up for the losses that they created because of their own greed. So we have to speak for those who cannot speak for themselves. While education has suffered a death by 1,000 cuts, there's still hope in a newly energized movement and the possibility of substantive change in the near future. Educating ourselves and those around us about the reality of the economic situation, taking direct action, and supporting our allies is the only way we can truly move forward to create a sustainable movement. Thank you.
I don't want to take up too much of your time because you've heard so many other people already speak about their feelings. But I did want to say that I don't want you to be discouraged by the amount of people that came out today. I don't want you to be discouraged because your best friend didn't come out with you today. And I don't want you to get so discouraged that you completely forget that you showed up here today. Because this is only a little bit of the fight. This is just the aesthetics of the fight. Like people said, we have buses coming on Monday going, this goes through the 5th, and they're reclaiming the quad this week. So there's definitely more than one avenue for you to be an activist. You can be a Facebook activist. You can post information that way. If you have a job and you can't come to the quad, you can definitely show your support by calling your legislatures. It may sound stupid, but they actually do listen to us. It's their job. That's why they get paid so much money, because you pay them so damn well. So you might as well check up on them from time to time. If you can't join the buzz forum, you can definitely still talk shit to your friends. Conversations at the coho are important because some people just aren't as informed as you are. You made it here today for a reason. Other people didn't make it here because, one, they may not have known about it, or they just may not have had anyone to bring them. So I just don't want you to ever feel discouraged. This is half the battle. This is 1/4 of the battle. And we have much further to go. As the last gentleman just said, I don't want any of us to, create divisions in our organization because of color lines, because of race lines, because of money lines, or because of lack of communication. This is a public education fight, and there are over 300 campuses on this country. We need to all work together. This is not just the UC Davis fight. This is not just the UC Davis Democrats fight. This is not just a reclaim the quad fight. So before you all get rained on and forget that you ever showed up, please remember that you came today. And it is important. And you did damn good today. But don't let this be the extent of your activism. Because if you did, if this is all you did, I can guarantee you, you're a failure as an activist. Because it's only going to get harder. Nobody has time to be an activist. I have 3 jobs. I'm a full-time student. I shouldn't be here right now. I got shit to do. It's not easy to be an activist. It's not easy to fight for your rights. If it was easy, everybody would be Bob Marley. But that's not how life works. And you need to know that. This is half, like I said, 1/4 of the battle. Don't let this be the last thing you do. I do love you all.
Woo!
Hi, my name is Howard Zerchlinsky. I'll be talking on how to overthrow the regents. For those of you interested in getting rid of them once and for all, which is what I recommend, I'll be talking about first the legal basis that protects the regents and how they operate, then how to get rid of them and make sure they don't come back, and then some cases that will demonstrate why we have to get rid of them because of the real horrors they cause on the UC campuses. So my talk will be over there by that tree right now because it looks like it's going to rain. So we'll organize there and hopefully find a way inside. For those, yeah. Can I do it in front of the bank? Just do it around the bank. All right, yeah. As long as. All right. I was just told that we should do it inside of the MU in front of the bank because of the danger of the rain. So, everybody wants to join me for that talk. It'll start in a couple minutes. Please come. I've got a handout for those interested. Yeah, forgive me. I'm a real academic, so I got handouts and crap. But we'll do it.
All right, everybody, that's it for the speeches. Thanks for coming out. Don't forget about the teach-ins this afternoon. And please go check out the bank blockade. We've closed the bank down for almost 3 weeks straight now. It's an example, or over a month. So that's an example of having a real effect right here on our own campus, and you can be a part of that.
It's raining, we're done.
All right, everybody, let's go to the bank.
Do we have a mic check?
No, just do a mic check.
I know, there was like 3 people and like a bunch of media around. Toward the end.
Mic check it and say we're all going to the bank.
Yeah, just mic check it.
Raise up your power. I don't know.
Howard? Is he already at the bank?
What's your name? What's your name? Is it Joshua?
Jake.
Jake?
Mic check!
Everyone who is interested in teach-ins,
Everyone who is interested in teaching
or wants to help the bank blockade,
or wants to help the bank blockade
should go into the MU to the bank
should go into the MU, into the bank
right now.
right now.
Education must be free, no cuts, no fees. 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 Education must be free, no cuts, no fees.
You guys come to my talk?
Like, we started walking and then just nobody moved. It was like,
Would you care to sit down? I'll give you a call.
yeah,
know.
I'm totally fucked. Let's try and find a smart person and ask them what they learned the last 2 weeks of class.
Did you go at all?
I read about German law.
All right.
I read German and Spain and Portugal.
Yeah.
And all I remember from the Spain and Portugal one is that Sherry is from Spain or something. And the one is from Portugal.
Yeah.
This is a wine club.
Okay, they're going to do a teach-in. I'm going to shut down the live stream. Thank you for viewing. This is UC Davis, Occupy, and Davis Occupy. Thank you.